A recent study by Arizona State University looks at the impact of the Super Bowl on sex trafficking. The researchers examined thousands of internet-based commercial sex ads in northern New Jersey, where the 2014 Super Bowl took place, and in Phoenix, Arizona, where this year's Super Bowl will be. Dr. Dominique Roe-sepowitz joins us now with more on what they found. And Dr. Sepowitz, you have written that the sheer number of ads that you found would be beyond the ability of any one law enforcement agency to respond to. What kind of influx do you see in regards to ads around the Super Bowl?
So we do not see a huge influx around the Super Bowl. There is consistently a really high rate of online sex ads, as well as responses to online sex ads. So people who are attempting to purchase sex from those ads, as well as the posting of those ads. So we actually, in our new study that we're doing this year, have looked back at New Jersey, and so far this year have seen significantly more ads online than we did last year during the Super Bowl. The thing that we think about that is that law enforcement has done a really good job in New Jersey last year and here in the Phoenix area of intervening in prostitution and sex trafficking situations and really reduce the number of ads that we're going to see.
So you're saying that you saw less ads around the Super Bowl last year, is that correct?
It is, but we think it's because of law enforcement intervention. We think that during the 6 months before the Super Bowl, that law enforcement in that area really hit prostitution with lots and lots of energy and lots of resources. I know the day before the Super Bowl in Manhattan, they arrested 100 women whose ads were on Backpage.com. So we know that the intervention of law enforcement to make sure that the Super Bowl is safe and has as little criminal behavior around it as possible certainly influences the sex buying and sex selling market.
All right, and what are you seeing in terms of sex ads around this year's Super Bowl in Phoenix?
We're really concerned about the ads we're seeing this year. We are seeing a lot of sex ads. We think about 55% of the ads that we see online are for trafficked persons. About 95% of the ads we see online are for prostitution. So if you break that down, about half of those, a little over half of those, have indicators that these people are being trafficked by someone or something.
So how do you see the Super Bowl in relationship to trafficking? Is it drawing traffickers? Is it drawing pimps? Are they saying this is a great place to make money?
I think if you're a trafficker or a pimp in this day and age, and you bring a person here to be trafficked, you are asleep at the wheel. I think you have really missed the opportunity to keep yourself out of the fray that we're going to have here. There are lots of men and lots of money here, and that's what any market needs for trafficking victims to be sexually exploited. But the Super Bowl has really sent a message. The NFL has sent a message. Our community has sent a message that sex trafficking will not be tolerated here, and prostitution won't be tolerated in our community, as it is illegal here. So I think that it actually is going to have the opposite effect. I think that traffickers are going to leave this area. We have a problem in Phoenix, as well as every other city in this country, that trafficking happens every day in every city, but we do not think that it's going to be significantly more during the Super Bowl.
All right, that's very interesting. And talk to us a little bit about demand. You write that the demand for commercial sex is the driver of the sex market and the sex market conditions, but it's also a factor that's easily addressed. How do you address that?
So I think it's actually quite complicated. We have a lot of groups working on reducing demand for prostitution and trafficked persons. You know, the act of prostitution is what a trafficked person is forced to do. There are some really amazing groups, Demand Abolition, the Shared Hope International, all working on looking at demand and how to change demand. We see last year during the Super Bowl time in Phoenix, we had about 54 callers per day. That's a huge number of people who, if law enforcement were to try to contact, would be overwhelming to any law enforcement community. So the way that we think that we need to address demand is to address the people who are buying right now, to send a message that buying sex is not acceptable in our society and in our community, and it is illegal and you'll be punished. To address the people who are thinking about buying sex, who are thinking about having a bachelor party, who are thinking that maybe that's an alternative for them, and to send them the message that that is not acceptable in our community and you will be punished. But there are other ways to deal with the way that you feel. We're also really concerned about the people who are young men, who are young boys, who are getting a message that buying and selling human beings is something that happens in our country, and seems to be nothing that we can do to stop it. And I say that's not true, that there are things that we can do to stop it, and we can send these messages.
All right, a lot to think about in regard to the Super Bowl and in regards to trafficking. Dr. Sepowitz, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.